aboard the 2018 Transition Scout today, and feels pretty dang good right off the bat. Feels quite a bit stiffer than my Patrol, kind of snappier, like it's going to be easier to go over rollers, gives you more pump return. So I'm really curious how this thing's gonna feel on the trail versus my Patrol. This thing's got the SBG geometry. Feels good. I love the long top tubes. I've got pretty long arms, so the long top tube kind of fits me naturally, puts me in a really good position. And I think it helps when I'm cranking out of the saddle. Just gives me a lot more room, and I find that it makes me feel more stable out of the saddle. It does feel like this bike is much easier to get around a tight corner on the climbs. It's got a little shorter rear end. The interesting thing to me though is this doesn't feel like a lot lighter of a bike. It still feels super burly, which is kind of fun because it's just this little bike that can handle some serious abuse. I do feel like it's a little less plush on this climb already with the lesser rear travel. Definitely snappier feeling, but I'm feeling more of the trail making it to my hands and to my saddle. I think this bike's for somebody who wants to put in a lot of trail input because it's a smaller travel bike, but it's got the smaller wheels as well. So they're going for the ultra nimble approach. And it does feel super nimble. Feels like I can put it right where I want it. And it's a geometry that's familiar to me coming from the Patrol. All right, time to point this thing downhill. Quite excited. Oh man, yeah, you just get a lot of return with that stiffer setup. Oh, excited for this. Woo! Yeah, it's easier to jump this thing around. You also feel really nice and close to the ground. It's pretty easy to corner this thing. Maybe even easier than the Patrol. Yeah, this thing's kind of a dream though. Oh man, this thing corners on rails. The only thing is I feel like I'm relying on the brakes and they're just not quite enough for this steeper trail. Or at least I have to corner or brake a little bit earlier. Woo! This thing's pretty unreal though. Woo! Yeah, the only thing that seems to be holding this bike back is the brakes. I'm definitely getting jangled around more than I would be on my Patrol, but it also just seems to be a laser. You're just almost closer enough to the ground where this thing's even better at cornering maybe. Ah, it's incredible. So good. Super impressed. All right, here's where this trail gets a little bit gnarlier, and we'll see how this little bike handles the real steeps, including that, which is Probably steeper than it looks on the camera. That one's kind of a dicey one. Oh, the cornering of this little bike though. I just feel like really connected with the trail. You get a lot of return when you kind of pump out of a berm. This thing's kind of got my heart today. Minus the brakes, which are a little scary after riding the codes for so long. Woo, yeah. Man, that corner right there, that little rear end was much easier to kind of swing around that. Little waterfall corner. Pretty much have to do an endo out of that one. Woo! All right, this is kind of a dicey rock roll. Surprised I'm doing this today on this little guy. Woo! Oh my God. Definitely feels like it's, you know, a little bit over this bike's head, but it survived. Definitely got to get all the way back on that rock roll. But yeah, what a weapon this thing is. Like, really rewarding in the corners and really holds its own on some legitimately scary stuff. And then of course it's easy to pedal. The rear end gives you more feedback than the bigger bikes like the Sentinel and the Patrol. The little wheels are really, really fun. This thing changes direction on a dime. It's pretty incredible actually. If you ride smaller elevations and I don't know, berms are your thing and you want a little bit more pedal support, this thing has got me stoked.